Kizingata like my oh my gozi yake inavyometameta kama shima hivyo nazani na kutamani nipe trace zaidi ya vile navyodhania kila mbio kampani na machache ya kukuambia cause I need you in my life. I'm tryna find me a wife. And you look just like her type. You look like just my type. Swear this love is first sight. Cause you are such a beautiful woman. Woman. Could you be my only woman? Woman. Mzuri kama kachora, kiuno kama dondora. I'm like my, oh my. Na hivyo vimacho vyake kakolo anavyovirimbua abadishe mpaka gola kospendo madola. I'm tryna make you mine. Na hizo puzi zake kamundo anavugisha kwa nishajaribu kupapasa Dar es Salaam, Nairobi hadi Mombasa, sijamwona mpaka sasa kufanana huo mshepu sasa. Maneno manung'uno na chuki eti mara kiuno amechongesha Uturuki uwajibu kurupuki penzi lako ni asali na vino nyuki kelele zao za chura haziminyinyi tembo kunywa maji. Wanasema mchana na usiku watalala. Umebarikiwa sura kwenye shindano la wana watakupetani. Kwanza bado kijana kifuani hajalala. You such a beautiful woman. Woman. Would you be my one and only woman? Woman. Mzuri kama kachora hodi kakupa mola. I'm like my oh my. Macho yake yanavong'aa just like a candlelight. Lips zake zilivoloa kizingata like my oh my. Ngozi yake inavyometameta kama shima hivyo nazani na kutamani nipe trace zaidi ya vile navyodhania kila mbio kampani na machache ya kukuambia. Cause I need you in my life. I'm tryna find me a wife. And you look just like her type. You look like just my type. Swear this love is first sight. Cause you are such a beautiful woman. 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 Could you be my only woman? Woman. Woman. Mzuri kama kachora, kiuno kama dondora. I'm like my, oh my. Na hivyo vimacho vyake kakolo anavyovirimbua abadishe mpaka gola kospendo madola. I'm tryna make you mine. hizo pozi zake kamudori anavyojishaua. Nishajaribu kupapasa Dar es Salaam, Nairobi hadi Mombasa, sijamwona mpaka sasa wakufanana umshepu sasa. Maneno manung'uno na chuki eti mara kiuno amechongesha Uturuki, uwajibu kuruki penzi lako ni asali nyuki, kelele zao za chura kazi nyingi tembo kunywa maji. Wanasema mchana na usiku watalala, umebarikiwa sura kwenye shindano la warembo, hata kupe taji kwanza bado kijana ifanya pajalala. You such a beautiful woman, woman, to be my one and only woman, woman, when they go Aisha, Aisha, Aisha,
Good afternoon, good morning, amazing, beautiful souls all over listening here on the best radio station, the Black Hot Fire Network. It's your girl, the lovely Eritron on Let's Pop, and today it's a Friday. I hope you all had an amazing, splendid week full of good tidings. It's always a great time to be alive because you know what? You matter and you have a purpose. I always say you are the change you need to see in the world. Thank you, Rams Yum Yum, joining me live on TikTok. Moses, thank you, Rose Gold, for joining me live on TikTok. Remember to download our app on Google Store, and also you can stream on www.blackhotfire network for more information in regards to amazing, uplifting, empowering conversation in regards to the African history, identity, and in regards to what's happening in the African leadership and everything to do with that. Remember that you can also follow us on all the social media, X, Facebook, and also Instagram for more information. Today's topic is the Nigerian protest spiral led by the Kenyan protest. It's an ongoing protest here in Africa, and basically, or unfortunately, three protesters have died during this protest because we see the police officers firing tear gases also basically to withdraw or basically disperse the protesters. But before that, I always start with an amazing motivational update. And today we're going to listen to Joshua Maponga talking about neo-colonialism and everything that is happening here, which they've been talking about this. Joshua Maponga and also Dr. Arikana Chihombori talked about the awakening that is happening here in Africa. So I'm going to play a video to basically help us understand everything that is happening here in Africa, the 254, and also Nigeria, as we start basically conversing about the Nigerian protest. But I hope you're all doing better. Thank you so much for joining in this conversation. Remember, live on TikTok, you can share and invite more people to basically listening in regards to this conversation.
When in fact your liberation has nothing to do with liberating your land, liberating your kings, liberating your culture, liberating your diet, liberating your celebrations. And so in your towns, you still find these big white men standing as statues. Your cities are still being called by the name of the colonizers. Your rivers is the same thing. And then the borders, oh wow, the borders are still exactly where they were as Leopold put them. Then the question is, how civilized, how liberated, how independent are you when your independence now is no longer independence, but it is dependence? You depend on what? Donor money. You depend on grants. You depend on loans. You depend on the same colonial system to help you to build your... Now, where have you ever seen that happen? That the person who colonized you will help you to build your own country, when in fact, it has always been about them building their own spaces. And this puts deep context to what I might want to call the Francophone Revolution. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, all these French once colonized spaces are beginning to wake up and say, no, we can't bank our money with you. No, we can't be watching your TV in our place. No, we're not going to be teaching French in our schools. We're going to find ourselves as Africans. So neocolonialism for me speaks of a system that has been left to run under the management of blacks, but the agenda still remaining as white. And to liberate ourselves will mean we need to deal with the system as it was constructed so that we could build for ourselves a system that works for us.
And that's where we can see, in regards to that, the protests that happen in Kenya and also in Nigeria, a lot of Africans fighting for a better governance that is not involved with the West agenda in regards for them putting their system and everything to do with them in Africa. We're fighting corruption. And I'm going to digress in a bit in regards to what's happening here in Kenya. We see the nominated cabinet secretaries actually giving an audit of their wealth and basically more talking about the corruption that is going on and the fact that why this leader are still being appointed by the president here in Kenya as cabinet secretary, and the fact that that agenda is being pushed, and that's why the Kenyans are still protesting, because you could basically hear or basically read out the comments. The people are basically saying these people basically need to go because they've already squandered enough wealth for themselves. As they're giving the audits of their wealth, it's basically heartbreaking in a way, the fact that you can see like the country is in dire need of growth, as this cabinet secretary basically is basking or basically backing the wealth in regards to who they are and basically pampering themselves with wealth. And this is what Joshua Maponga is basically talking about. And yeah, I will digress from that in a while as we basically listen into Joshua Maponga as I open in with him as a motivation.
Place, maybe it's in heaven, very far from here. For black people to live with white people, it's a long shot. It's a long dream. If the white people were normal, if the white people were not greedy, if the white people were environmentally friendly, if the white people had tolerance, we could maybe live together. But their appetite of dominance is too much, that you cannot coexist in a same space without conflict. Because as soon as a white man comes into your space, he wants to arrange everything to make sure that it suits his worldview. He cannot just come there and live and join us and live together in harmony with us. And worse, the question you're asking me, can a white man and a black man live together? Maybe I must ask you in a very sarcastic way, can a hyena and a sheep live together? Someone will be eaten right there. But more painful to acknowledge is the history which the white man has already written for himself in the minds of the black people. The crimes against humanity, the blood of our ancestors that are still dripping in their hands. In Zimbabwe alone, we have 18 of our royalties. Their heads were chopped off. Their heads are kept in British Museum right now, and their heads are being used as trophies and rituals. And if we're asking if we're going to be living together, maybe living together is such a polite word. Before we can live together, can we just talk justice? That you do it right by us. Bring back our heads. Bring back our royalties. Let us bury them in decency. We then begin to talk about the rule of law.
It starts with respect. That's what Joshua Maponga is talking about in regards to exposing the West agenda in the African leadership. We see the Kenyan protest has paralleled the Nigerian protest right away here in Africa, and the fact that they're basically pushing for hashtag and bad governance, and if they don't listen or the government doesn't basically comply to their inquiries, a 10-day protest that is going on in Nigeria, they're going to be saying hashtag Tinubu must go. And it's amazing to see the motivation and the synergy that the Nigerians have in regards to this protest, and they're basically pushing for a better governance. I believe they're not going to stop. We saw the Ugandans basically kind of like laying back a little bit, but I'm hoping they're gonna come back into it. We're gonna listen in regards to what is happening in Nigeria right away. But I believe they're basically upset, angry, and basically super I can say super angry with the government. And we could also see some views on the street how people are complaining about inflation, bad governance, lack of job opportunities, and they're basically super tired. And I believe it's never gonna be the same again in Nigeria. I'm gonna play a short video in regards to what's happening and also how Nigerians are looking um, for the viral Kenyan lady who basically popped up because she was so motivated, so confident in regards to pushing for a better government here in the 254.
Yeah, so reject this finance bill that has turned to a full-fledged protest in Kenya. In fact, it is beyond reject finance bill at this time. There have been many protests apart from that reject finance bill. There has been Occupy Afia House, there has been Occupy JKIA, there has been Occupy CBD. There's just been a lot of protests. There has been Sabas Haba, there has been Mandamano Tuesday, every Tuesday. So it's just beyond that at this point. And young people are being inspiring. Young people are just taking the lead on this thing. Kenyan Gen Zs, they are leaderless, they are tribeless, they are fearless. In fact, a lot of them have just been so inspiring. I will check online clips and I will see young people that are even younger than I am, and they are just spearheading stuff. They are talking to bad corrupt politician, bad government, and they are not even afraid. Even if they arrest them, they don't really care. They just want a change. They just demand a change. And this is genderless also. Young men, young women, even women that I wasn't expecting. You know, when you're saying something like bold and something that is coming out, I wouldn't expect maybe an Hijabian lady to be in that kind of sense. I know it's stereotypical, but I have my reasons for saying that, and it's just apparent. I wouldn't expect maybe like someone that is like that to be at the forefront of this kind of thing. We have somebody like that here in Nigeria. Her name is Aisha Yusufu, but she's much older. In fact, maybe she's also already a grandma or something like that. But this young lady, she's I'm sure she's Gen Z. I don't know her age. I'm sure she's Gen Z. If you go to Kenyan clip, if you watch any video about Kenyan protest that just happened recently and you don't come across her face, I don't think you have seen enough clip. Because before you watch 1, 2, 3 clips, that our famous clip will come out. That our famous
Parliament South Africa, please come. I'm here for Kenya, I'm here for my people.
She's talking about Shakira. She was basically loud on the protest here in Kenya, and we saw Senator Onyonka and also Shakira trending all over, even in some amazing media, talking about the fact that she was very fearless, not because she was fearless, but she just had to face her fear in regards to fighting for these protest and basically for the bad governance here in Kenya. And I can see Nigerians reacting onto the video and how confident she is in regards to that.
I'm here for your right.
she's not even budging. She's not budging. Can you see the face of that policeman? Can you see the face? He was just fed up. So this is the girl, this is the lady I'm talking about today. She has been an inspiration to so many young ladies. In fact, I didn't even immediately I saw her, she was not afraid. Did you see the military people that surrounded her in that place? And she was backed against a gate or something. And they were carrying guns, uniform. If you are somebody that is easily intimidated, you cannot be in this kind of situation, then you still be standing there with.
That's so true. That's what's happening in Nigeria, basically relating to what's happening here in Kenya in regards to their protests. But unfortunately, they lost 3 protesters during the protests today because it was really dire for today. It is the second day in Nigeria for them to be protesting against hashtag and bad governance. Digressing from that, coming back here in the 254, we have cabinet secretaries who are basically nominated. They are in a vetting committee giving audits of their wealth. It's amazing because it's crazy in regards to the amount of wealth this cabinet secretary owns, and that's why we're really pushing for better leader, pan Africanists who will have the best interests for the people in Kenya, and also I believe also in Nigeria. We have the health cabinet secretary nominee Deborah Baraza reveals her net worth um, in regards to her health wealth.
Mlongo Barasa. I am a qualified medical doctor. I have more than 18 years medical expertise and public health professional background. I'd like also to say
She was basically saying that her net worth is basically combined with her husband, but I'll give more update in regards to that. The time she's revealing her net worth is 445 million Kenya shillings.
What is your net worth in terms of wealth?
okay. So my net worth is a combination of mine and my husband, and it's 455,845,320.
Her net worth is 455 million combined with hers and her husband. That's what she's saying. And it's amazing because they're still nominating this individual in these positions, which doesn't add up at all. We also see Kithure Kindiki that I've been talking about since yesterday. He says his net worth is 17 million that he forgot to add to the report, but his net worth is 600 and almost 70 million Kenya shillings. She's the cabinet secretary for security that was fired initially and also rehired again. The one who basically pushed for the live bullets to be used on the protesters. And people are asking, why is this guy still being nominated as the cabinet secretary for security? It's too much, and I believe they should go, honestly. He forgot that he has cars or vehicles worth 70 million that he forgot to add to the report. That's Kithure Kindiki, Cabinet Secretary of Security. Good afternoon, General Mosquito. Hope you're doing better. Welcome to Let's Pop with Iwerton and the topic of the day. And everybody joining us here, I can see Casanova King 254, Momo 0404. Welcome to Salford. Welcome to Let's Pop with Iwerton. And the topic of the day is Nigerian practice spiral led by the Kenyan practice, and we see how the Nigerians are basically doing the most in regards to fighting for a better governance. But right now, I'm basically here in the 254 talking about the cabinet secretaries who have been appointed, and there's a vetting committee going on they're basically giving artists of their wealth. We had Kithure Kindiki, who said his net worth is 690, almost 70 million. We have also Health Cabinet Secretary nominee Deborah Barasa, whose wealth is 455 million Kenyan shillings. We also have nominated Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba, who says his net worth is 790 million Kenyan shilling, made up of largely land, vehicles, from equipment, and of course, he says most of his income comes from the law firm that he owns. His net worth is 790 million Kenyan shillings, made of land. His land basically vehicles, farm equipment, and most of his income, as he says, income comes from the low farm. We also have another some of the news basically coming back in regards to Junet Mohammed claims that Kimani Ichungor's net worth is 5 billion. 5 billion, guys. There has been a vetting here in the 254. Cabinet secretaries, guys, who are being nominated, is giving out their the audits of their wealth or the net worth that they have. We also have the agricultural cabinet secretary nominee Andrew Karanja says his net worth is 214 million Kenyan shillings. This is the nominated agriculture cabinet secretary Andrew Karanja says his net worth is 214 Kenyan shillings, and these are the leaders, or basically cabinet secretaries being appointed into these new positions. Someone basically asked why, or on the comments, why can we not have new members being elected into this position? It's just basically the same old, same old. And this is why people are really fighting for new governance. And the fact that we have many leaders in parliament who can basically have these positions, but definitely the president is recycling leaders. Maybe they have a pact with him. That's a fact if you basically understand what's happening. And also we have Oscar Sudi flaunts his wristwatch worth 16 million at Obina's show. These are people in government doing the same old, same old. Why not protest? He's basically flaunting confidently, saying his wristwatch is worth 16 million Kenyan shilling on a public show. Alrighty, that's it. 16 million worth of arrays. We're gonna digress from that as we basically give you update in regards to what's happening in Nigeria. I believe we'll have more updates in regards to that, but I'm gonna share a video live protest in Lagos in regards to what's happening over there.
You have accepted your wish. Since that is what you want, so shall you. Yes! Yes! Now, secondly, the whole world is here. If they want to attack us, let them attack us in the play of the whole world. Yes! Attack of the whole world. See that Nigeria practices against the party's democracy. They don't even want people to protest peacefully at all. So I agree completely with your points. Yes. So yes. We now continue the same way we started. Yes. Yesterday was peaceful. Yes. Today is also going to be peaceful. Yes. As Nigerian people.
So basically, the Nigerians are still pushing for the protest confidently, and they're saying it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. Very confident about that. It's always been, but unfortunately, as I said earlier, 3 protesters have been killed in regards to this protest. We have another data in regards to what's happening in Nigeria, and I believe they're not going to stop in regards to this protest. And the hashtag has been end bad governors in Nigeria. And we have a few updates in regards to that here as you guys tune in here on Let's Pop with Iraton. I hope you're doing better. Thank you, Patrick Ndambuki. Invite Kabuki Lucy. I can see Nemo D and General Mosquito. Thank you for joining us here on the Best Radio Station, the Black Hot Fire Network, basically talking about the Nigerian protest being spiral led by the Kenyan protest.
Nationwide protests are taking place at the moment in Nigeria over worsening economic hardship. Let's take a look at these live pictures from Lagos. The demonstrations have been organised by young Nigerians using social media, and it's been inspired by the recent demonstrations that we've seen in Kenya. Authorities have pleaded for more time to fix the economy, which has seen the worst inflation in a generation, for the protests to be shelved over fears of violence. But activists say they will go ahead, and we can see evidence of that now. Let's go live to Lagos and speak to our correspondent, Simi Jola Oso. Simi, can you take us through what those protests are like? It looks like it's extremely busy scenes behind you.
Yeah, the funny thing is there's been weeks of speculation on whether these protests would actually happen, but dozens of protesters, as you can see behind me, have come out. Probably not as many as the organizers would have hoped for or expected, but the people who are here are passionate. They've been shouting the word ole, which is a local...
I can understand that Nigeria really produces oil in large amount, and the fact that it doesn't really benefit the country, and also lack of job opportunities that has been in the inquiries to basically hashtag end bad governance in Nigeria, and also have the fact that they want education, the educational system to be compulsory. I believe it hasn't been compulsory and also free. That's what they indicated in their inquiries in regards to the 10 days of protest in Nigeria.
A term for thief, referring to the President Bola Tinubu. Now, they say they are here to protest against 2 things: bad governance, and they say the government is full of corrupt officials, including the president, but also economic hardship. Now, Nigeria has been struggling economically. Inflation has passed 34%. The cost of food, the cost of goods, the cost of fuel has tripled over the...
Before the protest, that was 2 days or 2 days ago, to the protest, we saw the president basically posting out job opportunities in the oil and gas companies. That was very fun. And basically offering cash grants to avert the looming protest that was basically supposed to happen yesterday. But in regards to that, they still continue with the protest. It's because I believe the government, just like what happened here in Kenya, so maybe on how the protest might basically cause haywire and the fear in terms of governance in Nigeria, because they're like over 230 to 250 million Nigerians. That's a lot of people. And that basically dispersed a lot of forces to protect this. To basically kind of like sever the protest that is going on. But I'm so proud of them. They basically did not back down in regards to the fact that the president offered or basically posting job opportunities in the oil and gas company, and also offering them cash grants to basically avert the looming protest that is happening right now.
The last year, and they say it's because of government policies that were implemented over the last year, including the removal of a subsidy that was meant to keep the price of fuel low, and also the detaching of the local currency, the naira, from the US dollars. And as a result, goods and food prices have been going up. One person told me while they were marching, he said, "We did not dethrone a military dictatorship to put a civilian dictatorship into power," and saying that the people are taking back their power. The government has urged protesters to be patient, saying,
I believe that was amazing to say that people are taking back their power, understanding basically who they are and basically what the government is supposed to do for them, because for years has been controlled by the Western agenda in regards to their policies, systems, talk about everything to do with the governing that is happening in Kenya, also in Uganda. Nigeria, super corrupt. And we saw the president confidently, bullishly coming or basically calling out the traditional leaders to talk to the people, because I think he was very fearful in regards to what's going to happen because his time is up, right?
Demonstrations have been organized by young Nigerians using social.
Dozens of protesters, as you can see behind me, have come out, and they say the government is full of corrupt officials, including the president, but also economic hardship. Now, Nigeria has been struggling economically. Inflation has passed 34%. The cost of food, the cost of goods, the cost of fuel has tripled over the last year, and they say it's because of government policies that were implemented over the last year, including the removal of a subsidy that was meant to keep the price of fuel low, and also the detaching of the local currency, the naira, from the US dollars. And as a result, goods and food prices have been going up. One person told me while they were marching, he said, "We did not dethrone a military dictatorship to put a civilian dictatorship into power," and saying that the people are taking back their power. The government has urged protesters to be patient, saying that they are going to put in
I believe they've been patient enough, like for years and years and years, and nothing has ever changed. And I believe even if they try to be patient, which they can never be the same again, they're going to still repeat in regards to the same system and the same policies. And that's why everybody is protesting against the leadership and the leaders who are in this position. We see here in Kenya right now, the cabinet secretary is giving an audit of their wealth, and it's mind-blowing that they have such net worth. And these people are the ones who we basically put our trust in to govern us in regards to what basically interests the people, but they do not have the best interest for the people. And that's why we need Pan-Africanists who have the best interest for the people, for the country, and also basically I believe for Africa. And I believe we can see Ibrahim Traore spearheading such confidence, leading his country, and basically combining Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali to become a power force in regards to fighting this bad governance.
Policies in place that would help relieve the hardship that people are facing. Earlier this year, they distributed grains from the National Reserve. They also gave temporary cash payments to very poor families. But the people, the protesters here are saying it's just simply not enough, and they plan to come out for 10 days.
They basically did this just a day or two before the protest. Why not do this even before people kind of like talked about this. It's the fear. And I believe they did not see this coming. Actually, they saw this coming because it started here in Kenya. But the government in Kenya did not see this coming. But I believe the Nigerians had these conferences preparing, trying to talk to the people to not to cancel the process, because I believe they could have time to prepare for this because they saw this coming from Kenya and also from Uganda. I believe it didn't work because it's a 10-day process to basically fight the corrupt leaders and the government at hand.
Or until the government do something to make lives easier.
And we're seeing live pictures. There's a lot of police presence there. At the moment, are you seeing any violent activity, or is it a peaceful protest at the moment?
No, it's been fairly peaceful. They wanted to gather in front of the State House of Assembly and in front of the state governor's office, but the police had blocked those roads. So they started from a different area and they marched down to this area called Ojota. This is the area that the government designated for them to demonstrate. And throughout the march, we've been walking for about 45 minutes, if not longer than that. And throughout the march, they've been walking alongside police officers who were kind of seemingly protecting them, and also the military also came out as well, but there hasn't been any violence. There's been like small minor clashes between protesters and a couple of people who were protesting against protests, saying that they are in support of the government. But yeah, no violence so far. The different factions of protesters, the people behind me, the people up ahead as well, and going into the park where the police chief was talking to them earlier on. But we'll still be here for a little while, as it seems that people are still joining and shouting and trying to get their voices heard.
Okay, Simi, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Simi Jola Oso there for us.
That's it. It's basically in what's happening in Nigeria. They're basically protesting. They're not backing down at all. It's a good sign in regards to the change they want to see. I always say you are the change you need to see in the world. It starts with you understanding that you're creating your world, and basically being a part of the protest really matters to the Nigerians. As we see here, August 8th, Kenyans have basically organized a kind of like a come together protest from different counties to fight for the for a better and new government here in Kenya, because I believe partially in regards to the cabinet secretaries that have been appointed right away, and basically for them to give the net worth audits of how much they own or the wealth that they have, can be like a spiral heading thing in regards to basically nominating them out of the Senate, because I believe, as Senator Nyanka says, we need papers. We need to audit everything that you own. And I believe it's happening, because I believe he was talking about the fact that JKI has been sold to Adani and Enterprises, and he needed the documents in regards to the evidence and basically see the agreement that the government, the president, has signed with Adani Enterprises, and the government is not giving him the documents because I believe the agreement might be dire, maybe too much for people to handle. And that's it in regards to Nigeria. We're going to go back to the 254 here in Kenya, talking about the fact Duale, if we know him here in Kenya. Just a moment as I basically look that up on my end. We have the corruption, he says, this is Aden Duale. He says corruption is more of a threat to our security than Al-Shabaab, because with Al-Shabaab, you can identify them. Just a moment as I put that. before he continues, actually, we're just saying, actually, you are the threat to Kenya. Just go home. You don't need that job. A lot of these cabinet secretaries do not actually need positions. Someone is saying, Aden Duale, you're a serial liar, just like your boss. Sweet tongue, and he will really basically not deliver. We also have someone else saying, government official talking about corruption is more like Satan hating us, basically hating on sin. Why didn't I go back there? Honestly, we saw the fact that Senator Onyanka was talking about a lot of these leaders that we have, or basically the government selling off lands right now to a lot of foreign people. It's happening right away. I'm gonna play that video of Aiden Duale talking about this right away.
You, Honorable Chairman. My concern is still on West. No, West is a nuisance. I'm wondering what mechanisms or interventions you intend to employ to address the menace of West, so that we convert it from being a nuisance.
This is a video of the vetting that is basically going on in Kenya, the vetting committee in regards to the, what do we call them, the cabinet secretaries being appointed again.
A nuisance to a resource, recycle, reuse, produce, regenerate energy, name it, because it is a real issue. Outline for us those interventions that you will employ. Secondly, I want to pick it from the question that was asked by Honorable Mbui on corruption. You've said yourself, corruption is killing our country. And I remember when we interviewed you on your first nomination, we still raised this issue of corruption in recruitment of officers to KDF. And you promised us here that you're going to deliver. But Honorable Duale...
Basically, his words is being used against him, so that's why I believe all these cabinet secretaries that have been appointed, basically they're all corrupt. And as the lady doing this vetting basically says, Duale, your last vetting you talked about corruption, but we see that going on. And that's why I read in the comments before, people were saying, Duale, you are an official talking about corruption. It's basically more like Satan hating on his sin. And also someone else is saying, you are the threat to Kenya. Just go home. Duale is a serial liar, just like his boss. We know who that is. Sweet tongue, and he will really not deliver anything to the people. We see this lady basically calling him out in regards to what he's saying right now.
I put it to you that you disappointed the country. During that time, the amount that was being paid was between 300 to 400. But during your time, you presided over an increase from now for 300 to 400 to 700 to 1 million. And as representatives of the people, our constituents report this to us. At some point, even efforts to reach you were not fruitful. You could not pick our calls. So now, my question is, why should we trust you?
Yeah, and why should we be appointed again? Actually, all those cabinet secretaries, why are they appointing them, right?
Why should we believe you? Why should we believe that you are not going to transfer this corruption to the Ministry of Environment? Because even there's recruitment of forest to others.
Actually, he's being given the sector of environment, and that's a good question, actually.
You need to assure Kenyans that you will do something.
No, he just needs to go, because you cannot teach an old dog new tricks, so he just has to go. All of them need to go.
When you get to the Ministry of Environment. Lastly, Honorable Chairman.
Last two.
On deforestation.
Okay.
There's a lot of felling of trees, even in public forests. We are saying let us plant trees. Let us plant. But what are we doing about deforestation? Can I ask the last one that have been requested by the public?
Go ahead.
A member of the public has asked me to ask Honorable Dwale, what is your connection with the Juja International Abattoir in Murima in Juja? It has environmental.
I definitely love this vetting. Super straight up and direct, and I hope they're not going to be nominated. But if they do, there's a protest coming on August 8th in Kenya. Telling you guys.
Wastage. I don't know what that means. Probably you can give your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Let me start with something Murima Juja. Maybe the people who I sell my fattened bulls take to many slaughterhouse. If they buy and take it to a slaughterhouse, that is the only relationship I have. I don't own slaughterhouse. I sell to Farmers Choice. I sell to Kenya Meat Commission. I am a very serious livestock keeper, and I do what we call feedlot. So ask that person, maybe he's looking for another Dwale. Let me answer about recruitment. I refuse to pick your call and many other people's calls because of corruption. It's because of the corruption. You wanted me to employ for you people. And many members of parliament will agree with me when even they send me text. I said, please go to the nearest sub-county recruitment.
No, I believe it should not be appointed. I believe all those cabinet secretaries that are being appointed into new seats should not actually be there because there's nothing new that they're going to do at all. They're just going to be repeating the old system, using the same system they've been using for years. And some we know them, they've been appointed from the opposition party, which means the government and the opposition has been one. Hey, so as I'm always or almost winding up, I want to play a short video of Joshua Muponger basically reminding us the reason why we should push for this revolution in Africa.
If what you have done, can you be accountable for what you did? And I saw yesterday the Ghanaian government receiving 31 artifacts that were stolen during the British Empire's reign, and they've returned them back now to Ghana. Is it good enough just to return our artifacts? What did you do with them? The amount of millions you collected when people are coming to see these things. Who accounts for all that? Now it's good enough just to bring the pictures back and hear your things. You're dealing with thieves here. You're dealing with criminals here. You're dealing with murderers. Look at Kenya. No one so far has even come back from the British government to speak about the massacre of the Maasai during the Mau Mau War. And who gets accountable? And you want to talk about living together in harmony without being accountable. I mean, if you're
without getting justice, exactly. Without getting justice.
Hello, Kate. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
It's about Africans. These puppets never talk about any justice because they're put there by the same people who robbed and killed you to begin with. That's why he's never no justice. He's talking about how you let the British Prince Charles Keats or whatever this phony cracker name is come back into your country and give him a hero's welcome. These are the same people that enslaved and beat and robbed and murdered your people. You know, the African behavior towards these people has been inappropriate, to say the least.
Right.
So that's what he's saying. You know, the behavior is inappropriate. But it's inappropriate because these are the same people that put these puppets in power. These are the same people that where your puppets' money come from. That's why all these puppets are millionaires. They ain't never built shit. They ain't never invented shit. They ain't never manufactured shit. But everybody's a fucking millionaire. Because how about that?
Yeah. I've been reading or basically reporting the audits that they're giving in regards to their net worth, and it's mind-blowing, you know.
Yeah.
And it's still being re-elected on this cabinet's Senate's position?
Well, that's what happens when your country was never yours.
Yeah.
At the time you got independence, the Africans were never really smart enough to understand what the European was never going to let you go, Iritan.
Right.
Africa's the most important continent on the planet. So I think I want to share a video with you for this show to teach you. You know, you were given a lot of. I'm not going to beat up on your Jesus, but I'm going to let this white man tell you was given a myth of this Jesus. He was given a myth. You haven't been able to break out the myth. And so that's what allowed so long the robbing, stealing, and pillaging of Africa. Like the white guy was saying, imagine how everything keeps changing, but the relationship between Europe and Africa never changes because the Europeans know without Africa they're poor. So that you hear me laugh. He said that relationship is paramount to make sure they never make that change because their very livelihood here time. You show the white people in Kenya enjoying life, that comes from Africa. And that comes from the stealing and robbing of Africa. They don't give a shit. You know, even though when the Africans go to their country, they're poor. The white people come to Africa, they're rich. They're living the best lives, living all good. That's because of the theft of Africa. You know, a lot of Africans didn't even understand and even know that. That was the theft of the country, the theft of the continent, really. So, and so they've had their puppets who they've installed to help them, you know, to help them keep the theft going, as long as they give them something as well. They give them a little bit of something, make them millionaires, so they become contributors in their crimes.
Right. And what's your take on the ongoing Nigerian protests?
I think it's a good thing because it's so funny how the police never try to stop. We dare you to stop. No, Nigeria is a basket case. Like one of the guys are asking one of the Nigerian protests, what do you think is the worst government, Kenya or Nigeria? He said, you asking me to act bad against bad. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, you asking me to, he said, you asking me to choose evil against evil. He said evil. Right? He didn't say bad. He said evil. He said evil against evil. And I'm not, he said, and I'll not do that because both of them were evil. He said that they're both evil systems set up by the Europeans that are really bad. So I was like, so it was just hilarious when he said which system is worse? He said, hey, you're asking me to choose between evil and evil, and I'll not do that. They're both evil. It's just that the Kenyans have woke up first to do something about it, while we have not done anything about it. We plan to do something about it now.
Yeah.
But so
I'm glad that you're not backing down. We saw Ugandans kind of like still not pushing for it.
But they're still scared. Still scared. Yeah. They're not. It has something to do with your educational level.
Okay.
That as me, Maria, and Seta were talking about Uganda, educational level is so bad in Uganda because Museveni's kept people's I don't like this when you're kept so ignorant here, Tom. You really don't understand. Some of you really don't understand how shit works. And that's on purpose. You're giving, because Museveni said the same thing these other wicked motherfuckers said in Nigeria. Just go and pray, and shit don't change because that's made up. So same shit they were telling the Nigerians, go home and pray. Motherfucker, I've been praying for 70 years and I'm still fucked up. So praying don't work. Praying all that pray shit don't work. So that
The Ugandans haven't understood yet that if they come together, they're the power, but they haven't reached that level. It's a level of consciousness here, Tom.
Okay.
It's a level of when you reach a certain level of consciousness, you can't go back. There's a threshold.
Right.
Because Africans share collective consciousness. Once you become conscious of a lot of stuff, you can't go back. And so until Uganda gets there, it seems like Nigeria is there. They were on the threshold anyway. Because they were actually there a year before Kenya, but they were they were actually fooled.
Right.
They were actually fooled into stopping it. Because the government promised, well, we're going to change, we promise, we're going to do better. No, my fuck was 2 years ago. They had a mass movement called SARS.
Right.
And the government had convinced them that they were going to do right. We're going to do right. We're going to just give us time. That's the same shit they were saying this time again. Give us time again nonsense when they don't mean to do anything. So they thought they could use the same formula, but they didn't get the memo that the youth like, nah, no more giving people time, no more of this shit, no more. So they were saying time is out, time is up. Time of starving, time of not having jobs, time of all the debt, because of the debt in Africa, Iraton, is massive. But I sent you that video, Iraton. The debt in Africa, Iraton, is massive. Like I teach you, no one should be starving Africa. Africa's too rich to have anybody, Iraton, should be suffering in Africa. And before the white people got there, you never did suffer. Because you're the wealth of the world. So I sent you the video of the white man telling the same thing. These are just facts. I hate to tell you, before you got, I know you like hearing this, Iraton, I'm gonna teach you this. Before you got Christianity, Iraton, you were wealthy. Now you got your Christian and you're poor. So how's this a true religion? Before Christianity, you're rich, you're wealthy, but you're supposed to be going to this fake hell place. You're wealthy. God doesn't like you because you were wealthy. You're wealthy. Come from a wealthy people. Now you got their Christianity, you're poor. Now they're wealthy. Before they gave you their Christianity, they were poor. They were impoverished. Europeans have always been impoverished because there's nothing in Europe. That's why they had to go out and steal everybody else's shit. Why they stole. Shout out to the black girl in Australia. I'm glad you always shared that video. It was funny. When the black girl said, you guys know the white people in Australia they stole Australia, like they steal everything. And they asked the black girl there, and she said, what the white lady do? Well, listen, I'm born in Australia, so this is my land. If I'm not from Australia, where am I from? And the black Australian girl said, England? That's right, England. That's where your people came from 200 years ago, when you stole Australia. I'm talking about if I'm born in Australia, if Australia is not my land, where do I belong? The little black girl said, England. That shit was funny. Because she said it without any malice. That's what made it so genuine. She just thought, she said, so she just thought and said, England? Because Australia is not your land. You stole it.
Right.
You stole Australia. You stole New Zealand. You stole United States. You stole these places. Canada, you stole them.
Right.
Because that's what, if Europe was so good, why'd you leave? Because it wasn't good. That's why they left, because they were starving and filthy. They're on the verge of extinction. So that's what happened. But but I sent you a video of the white gentleman telling the truth about Africa. Letting you know, the truth about Africa's wealth and the myth.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Everything Kila said, basically see that in reality, and the fact that also the Nigerian leaders, the government also was calling out for the traditional leaders to basically talk to the
That
protesters. But it didn't
exactly.
work.
That didn't work. No, it didn't work because they're full of shit. Ain't about no tradition. Those are called old niggas who want to keep their damn little money coming and don't give a shit about the people. Yeah, it really was. It was the old religious morons. The Muslims had the imams, and the Christians had the preachers. You know, like all Africa, part of it's Islam and Nigerian, part of it's Christian. All fake foreign religions that were brought in by fucking enslavers, and people wanted to steal land. So you had the imams say, go back and pray to Allah. You had the preachers go back and pray to Jesus and God. And then you said, fuck all that.
Right.
The youth,
Samuel,
the youth,
welcome. I can see on YouTube. Yeah, he says, I remember, sirs. Alrighty, we're going to play a 1 minute.
Yeah, because it almost toppled the government. And just like Irtan just said, they brought the religious leaders and shit out to calm the youth down. And it worked that time. Go back home. We're going to work for peace. We're going to try to change. As soon as they went back home and dissipated, they didn't do shit. Same shit continued because it was a scam. Now the youth, see, it's called fool me twice. Fool me once, shame on me, Irritan. I mean, my fault. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So you're not going to fool me twice.
Right. Right. Just Congress, a 1 minute video of what he says as we wind up here, and let's talk with Irritan.
A rapist. You're asking me, how can a rapist, British government, to speak about the massacre of the Maasai during the Mau Mau War? Who gets accountable? And you want to talk about living together? Living together in harmony.
That's that Christian bull. That's that Christian bullshit without no justice they give.
Criminal, thief, thug.
Pardon?
That's that Christian bullshit they gave black people. They get to rob and steal and kill and just ask for forgiveness. Like what? Shout out to Joseph McClellan. Like I said, he was a bishop. I think it was the Anglican church he was part of. He started researching. He said, all this shit is phony. Sorry it took you so long, Joseph. I started learning that shit when I was in my 20s. This shit is bullshit. Sorry it took you so long, Joshua. Took him a little longer. You're like, this shit is bullshit. Yeah. Once you study it, it doesn't hold up. Go ahead there, Tom. Play that last video I sent you, though, first, before you leave. Play that last video, too.
Did you send it on my phone?
Yeah, I sent it to your phone. I sent it to your ear, Tom.
Today? Oh, there.
Today. I didn't mention no other day.
Right. We have my guest here that is late, but before we wind up, you can just say something. I'm actually winding up, DJ Jeng.
That's all right.
Just wait down. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just introduce yourself as we give
you gonna pull a Joby, you gonna wind up when you got a guest.
People is already here when I'm like kind of like closing up, so at least he can say something, and maybe we can do this on Monday. Yeah.
So hi. Just go on.
Yeah, go on.
All right. Hi. So this is DJ Jeng. So hi everyone. I'm so sorry I was late.
That's okay.
The switch up time.
Airtime could have went 30 more. Airtime could have gave you 30. Airtime could have gave you 30 more minutes. She pulled a Joby. Airtime could have gave you 30 more minutes. She pulled a Joby on you.
10 minutes actually.
That's all right.
Yeah, we've been talking about the fact that Nigerian protests, which basically spiral led by the Kenyan protests.
Yes.
You can see that Nigerians are basically protesting now, and it's a 10-day protest full of rage. And they're saying the main factor is corruption, economic inflation, also bad governance, the educational system.
Yeah.
And if the government does not adhere to their requests, hashtag Tinubu must go.
Can he really go though?
He should go.
I mean, he hasn't been in office for a long time.
What about Ruto?
Ruto.
Because we want him to go right now.
It doesn't make a difference whether can he go. The people know he didn't win any elections. It's like Ruto. All those elections in Africa are selections. They're rigged. They're phony. The white man decides to put them in there. If they don't do what they want them to do, they get rid of them. So they know, people in Nigeria know that election was rigged. Ain't nobody want no damn Tinubu in there. He's corrupt as fuck. And they know he's corrupt as hell. That's why he's there. And he's so damn corrupt. This bastard is so damn corrupt. You got Dan Cote at least trying to change Nigeria's oil situation because they're the biggest oil producer in Africa and they're impoverished. This moronic ass Tinubu has an oil refinery business outside the country in Malta where he takes the Nigerian oil so he can make money, refine it in Malta, then sell it back to his own fucking people. This wicked ass nigga. So that's how bad they know all this. It all came out. But I've been said that 3 years ago. So shout out to Nigerians learning this, being educated, how wicked. All African politicians are wicked as shit. They're only installed by Europeans. You can't live on the richest continent on the planet and everybody be fucking poor in Africa. The majority of the people are impoverished. Now you're waking up. Yeah, European. They came to Africa. They didn't come to help you with their fake religions and all that fake shit they taught you. They came to because they were poor. And then they start stealing the resource out of Africa. Now you're impoverished. That's why you're poor. It ain't because you sinned against Jesus or Allah or whatever fucking fake religion you believe in.
Well, you see, I mean, there are a number of things that you can do to gain power and to control people. One of the easiest things to do is religion. You can use religion.
Exactly.
You can use poverty and propaganda and a mixture of very, very serious narcissistic tendencies to actually control masses. Right. And the one other thing that can really help you if you control people is just money. So I think the leaders in Africa have perfected the art of basically using public resources for their own good. Okay. And doing whatever they want, with it. And everybody in Africa is, if you want to vote, you're given a little bit of, say, just basically pocket change, and then you go vote for somebody who's going to forget you for the remainder of his term. Right. I think that's just it's pathetic that's how it is in Africa. I wish it was better, but I think I like the change that young people are starting to push through. Especially how it started in Kenya, the Gen Z protests. Now it's spreading to Nigeria. Nigerians are crazy. They're many. They're angry. So many. That's a good thing. Yeah. Right? But I saw somebody in Nigeria protesting and trying to take off with a street light. I don't know what he's going to do with that. Yesterday. Yeah. Is the guys really trying to, knock off the street lights from wherever they are. Yeah. But that would be interesting. It would be a very interesting disco light system in the house. Right. I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't know. But I feel like it's a good thing that Africa is rising up. Yeah. We see what has happened in Kenya. We're starting to look at our leaders playing puppets to Western influences. And we're deciding, you know what? These people need to know their place. Right. We are the people. We are the guys who actually decide. Finally, in Kenya, the politicians have learned that they actually work for us.
What about the cabinet secretary being appointed?
How about that?
The cabinet secretary is an absolute joke of a process. Yeah. Let me explain why.
You've seen the vetting of their net worth that they're giving?
Pathetic.
Crazy.
Let me say why I'm saying it's pathetic. Huh? Okay. You expect that somebody of such if you're going to get such a high office, you actually know something about it. Yeah. So explain to me why the person being vetted to be the cabinet secretary for defense is a lawyer. I mean, can you just... So these things don't make sense at all. Yeah. What is the lawyer going to say to tell an entire... know? Yeah. And the worst thing about it is...
Political grab.
The worst thing about it is that the excuses are basically going to be policymakers. Yeah. Imagine making policies about things you don't know. Like, you really don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's some guy, I can't remember the name. The guy was being interviewed for the education docket.
Education docket. Yeah. Let me look that up for you.
I've actually read the actually asked what solution does he have for the education system in Kenya, considering it's messed up. And he said he does not
Julius Ogamba, the one who has 790 million.
Yeah. Yes. So apparently he says that he doesn't have a solution.
Wow. Why are they putting his ass in office? Exactly.
So because when you look at these politicians, Ruto, the president of Kenya, sometimes is a classic disappointment. When you look at him, you wonder what's wrong with this guy. You're just going to surround yourself, the people in cabinets, just going to surround yourself with just people who are rich and they are your friends. That's a qualification for being a cabinet secretary in Kenya.
They're basically in one pact.
That's just, I don't understand.
Those are political favors he needs to give out because they protect him. Listen. Ruto's supposed to have been at the Hague and in prison over almost 20 years ago for the violations he did in 2007. Him and fucking Uhuru. See, once you know good to the white man, he's coming back to now throw your ass in prison. So Uhuru and Ruto's gonna try to survive no matter what because he know the Hague is waiting on his ass. They'll come and say, oh, you know what? You did commit all these crimes against humanity back then. So now we're going to lock your black ass up. That's what they do.
I think Ruto has mastered the art of playing mascot to so America took him on a fashion show around the country. Basically, because I don't know what else. What was the guy doing there? Really?
Right.
So you're being shown around like some prized some prized
like a child. It treated him like a child. He got to sit in a big chair. Look at me taking pictures in the president of the United States chair. Look at me. He was treated like a child.
Crazy. I mean, you're supposed to be looking like this artifact from Africa in a suit.
Yeah.
Basically, there's nothing he's going to say or do that is going to help this country in any way. It's quite disappointing. I see why young people, really get tired about this because you can clearly see that to be a cabinet secretary in Kenya, you just need favoritism. You just need to know who is who. It's no longer, it's never been about merit. Yeah. I don't think it's never going to be about merit. Mm-hmm. But I pray that what we've started in Kenya would be able to gain steam and really drive some real change.
I think it's going to happen because we see.
I think you are doing it.
Recycling the same people who have been in governance for years.
Yeah, and then I saw what the president did, basically taking up guys from the opposition and bringing them into his cabinet.
Yeah.
I think he's stuck maybe in 10 years ago.
Okay.
Where political favors like that, where you go to the opposition and get them to come into government production.
That's a scam.
There's a demography right now that is annoyed with the government, does not care about political affiliations, doesn't care about tribes. They just don't care about these things. People are like, hey, you know what? I've studied, I've got a degree in actuarial science. I should be working in something related to that, and I can't because I don't know someone who should know someone who should get me somewhere.
That's a fact.
So it's quite terrible, but that's the Africa we are in,
Right.
Yeah.
But I believe this time is up, as Keith said right away.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's an awakening happening. I told you it was going to happen. You can't keep people dumb and impoverished only for so long. And that's what the Europeans have done to Africa. The raping and the constantly keeping them ignorant. And, happy are the poor that love Jesus and all that bullshit. So they keep them with these goofy religions, happy to be poor and fucked up. And then and look, now they got smartphones. Damn, why Europe don't look all fucked up? Because they steal it from your stupid ass. That's why they don't feel to be happy and impoverished and all them dumbass fables that the white man brought to you. So,
but sometimes I feel pity for Europeans.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah. I feel a lot of pity for Europeans.
Oh my God! Here we go with the pity. What a cracker! Why? Let me know why.
Europe is just a combination of different tribes. They stopped killing each other. They decided they want to come to Africa and kill us.
They only stopped killing each other because the wealth was in Africa. Once you get Africa back, they'll continue to start killing each other. I'm trying to be sorry for savages. They've indoctrinated Africans. They've stolen land in Africa, stolen wealth, and I'm sorry for that.
I feel a lot of pity for them when I look at their hearts.
Okay.
How terrible is Europe to such a level whereby you don't have resources. Okay. You have a really pathetic weather. Talking about winter.
Yeah.
That's why they left. That's why they came out, start stealing and killing and taking countries. That's right.
Yeah. So now they come to Africa. The weather is fantastic. There's a lot of land. Britain came to Africa to basically just kill people, take up the land because there were too many in a very, very small place, and London was literally rotten.
Okay.
That is true because there was a serious outbreak in London, a disease that was literally carried by.
It's called the Black Plague. They didn't wash their ass and they were nasty. They they were filthy. They didn't wash their ass, but they brought you God. Oh, you niggas are savages. Let me bring you God. What? You ain't wash your own ass. What are you talking about?
So sometimes that's why I'm saying I feel pity for them.
I don't feel pity for none of them no good bastards. They took my family out to Congo and Angola and enslaved our ass in America 400 years ago. So you can miss me with that pity bullshit. You miss me with that shit altogether. The rape, the torture, the terrorism my ancestors went through because of this no good white man. You can miss me with that. Yes, you feel pity for the ass. I don't. I want all our shit back, and I want them fucked up. I don't feel no pity. Sorry.
But I think there's light. Africa is rising, and there's a lot of things that are happening.
Okay.
And for example, if you take Kenya for example, I think we are some of the pioneers when it comes to we have a product called M-Pesa.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting when you see guys traveling from all over Europe and America coming literally to Kenya to literally study something that was made in Kenya.
Wow.
That is a big financial system that I never understood.
Right.
That has revolutionized banking.
That's M-Pesa.
M-Pesa.
Yeah.
Technology is rising over here at a very, very steady pace.
Yeah.
Now we are in the age of AI and IoT. And I think that where we're headed, Africans are no longer savages who just don't know what they're doing, not learned, not informed. The internet age has given us quite a lot.
You were never savages because you were never savage.
Yeah, that's according to them. You know, when I look at them, sometimes I'm like, hey, why would you have the heart of just like you just want to go and kill people for the benefit of your pocket? You're gonna die. You're gonna leave everything here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. When I look at them, sometimes that is why I'm saying I feel pity, because it's terrible what they are. But on the same note, I feel like there's still good people in this world. Okay. There's still a lot of hope, and I feel like maybe as we continue forward, a time will come when they no longer look at us like people who can do stuff. When they realize that Africa is rising but faster. We actually don't need their approval. We don't need their approval. Yeah. But at some point we're going to gain the respect. Let me give you a case in point. Respect is a good word. Let me give you a case in point. Yeah. China. Okay. China, the Europeans looked at China like some lost place. And it's not a long time ago, like maybe 20, 30 years ago, China was a place where you go, everybody's just riding a bike. But they created China. Yeah, they did. Yeah. But you see, right now, what China is doing, China literally, the US actually owes China. Yeah. The US is indebted to China. Owns China, created China. Yes. And now China is becoming so rich, growing so fast. Their cities are bigger, cleaner. Their populace is actually growing in terms of their standard of living is quite high. Okay. Right now, they're now wondering what's happening next. No. I'm about to hurt his feelings. Yeah. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, no. As we wind up, case, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. Not to the way. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me hurt his feelings. Okay. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But anyway, okay, hold on. First of all, what he's saying is completely false. Okay. Let me explain to you. I want you to research this. Okay. China was created by the West, by America. That's the scam you don't understand. China right now, the economy is falling apart. Okay? So understand,
Now their standard of living allowed them. Every time I look this up, I want them to understand this. A lot of Africans don't know how to. They don't understand how the real thing of geopolitics. They only see what they see. They don't understand. China was an impoverished country. Okay, China was set up.
Country, that's true.
Let me finish. China was set up by the banking families of America, called the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. They're the ones who created communism. And so they go to China and overthrow the last emperor of Japan. They overthrow his ass. But the Japanese use him to set up half of China because the Japanese were taking over China at that time. So they created a place called Manchukuo. Look this up real quick, Eric. We got time. We're going to do this. I need to educate him because he's completely off. So look up this. Say, when did the Japanese set up their puppet country in China? Say, when did the Japanese set up their puppet country in China? China's always been weak. They think China's some power. That's what they want the Africans to believe. It's all made us fucking smoke and mirrors. Say, when did the Japanese have their puppet country in China? So then, let me finish. Let me finish. I'm explaining to you. Let me finish. So anyway, so they said they're going to use China to set up all their wicked shit they want to do around the world. See, the people that run the planet, they don't believe in countries. They say they stand outside the countries. They don't believe in countries. They stand outside the country. They run the world. They don't believe in any kind of nationality. I'm Kenyan. I'm American. Because America does not control by Americans. Controlled by these certain individuals. So at that time, they allowed Japan to take half of China. And so this overthrew the emperor. And if you see, the Japanese installed the emperor of China as the fake emperor, the puppet emperor of that part of China. It's called Manchukuo. And so at that time, Japan had decided, fuck that. We're not going to play under the white man's rule. We're going to still have the world the same way they did. And so you have the Rothschilds decided, okay, shit, we got to defeat these fucking Japanese motherfuckers. We got to get rid of these bastards. They're a threat to our global power. So you'll see it. Did you see when they set up the country airtime? Should be like 1938, 37.
1932. Manchukuo.
Right, was it 30? Yeah, damn, was it 32? Yeah, so it's 30. Oh, yeah, it was a puppet state. They set it up because the Japanese had finally figured out that fuck this. We're going to run half this world. Fuck this cracker. We're going to run half this motherfucker. I'm just telling you what they said. We're not going to let the white man run roughshod in Asia. We're going to run this motherfucker. And they said it. We're going to run Asia, period. We're going to take over China. We're going to take over fucking India. We're going to take it all. God damn it. That's what Japan said. So the bankers said, oh, shit, what the fuck? So we're going to have to fund an army in China. So if you look this up, you'll look, say, who funded the communist military? So understand, communism was created by the bankers. People think communism and capitalism is fighting. That's a fake illusion. They're created by the same fucking people. Most people don't understand that they're caught in this illusion. So the bankers say, okay, China's not strong enough to practice capitalism yet, but we're gonna put communism in there so we can build an army. We're gonna fund it, and then eventually we're gonna come back and build China to a power because we're gonna deplete. We're gonna deplete the United States. We're gonna use the United States and destroy it because once we build China, we don't want another power to be able to come back and understand what we did to them and destroy China. America's not indebted to China. It's been floated by the people that created China and took over the United States in 1913. See, these same people took over the United States in 1913. They took over the banking of the country. They control it now. Mm-hmm. And so, so they sent all American technology. See, if America was capitalist, and remember, China's communist, why would America decide to send all this technology, all of its goddamn manufacturing to China and teach China how to be a power? It wouldn't. If we controlled it, that's how China becomes industrial. America that wasn't controlled by the Americans, controlled by these same groups of people, took all of American manufacturing over to China and start building them into a power and sharing knowledge with them of how to be manufacturers. And so since they was going to build China, that's the reason why they started depleting the standard of living, because they were destroying one empire to build the new empire. Right. To understand that. So the African thought, well, I'm getting away from the IMF and the World Bank. I'm going to go to China. Moron. The same people that own the IMF and own the World Bank created China. That's why China's stealing your shit when you don't pay back the loan. It's the same shit. But you didn't understand that because you've been too ignorant. How the fuck you think China got money? China was poor. China was poorer than Kenya 50 years ago. Where'd the money come from? Came from the West. They were building it to a power. China is no miracle. The Chinese, China was backward, fucking poor, and starving. Where do you think the money came from? China didn't build shit. And even after that, the Japanese, who got destroyed and sadly were put back in their place, and they were conquered after World War II, those bankings, and in order for them to get back into the world society, they had to promise to give over their banks to the same people that were building China. And the Japanese are still, I lived in Japan. Japanese are still fucking mad about that shit, making their fucking enemy a power, because they know, because their banks now owned by the same individuals, who built China. Because, Japanese are not happy about that shit at all. They're not happy about that, not one fucking bit. So the idea that, now I want you to understand this, pull this up, Irritar. Say Chinese, say China's demographic problem. Pull that up. Now tell them that China, let them know that China doesn't control China. It's all made up. Say China's demographic problem. See, these people wanted to depopulate the planet still too. Yeah. That's the reason why I told you they launched that fake COVID-19 shit from China. Yeah. That's why the whole world did it, because they control the whole planet. Right. So pull up China's demographic problem. Pull this up. Pull that up.
It says, according to them, its population will fall below 770 million by 2100. The estimates were adjusted.
It's going to collapse. China's going to collapse. See, what they did, they fucked up the damn powers. People that created China, not the Chinese, they made them implement a one baby problem. Say, hey, you're going to have one child. And what they did, they exceeded their demographics. So there's no saving China. So the white man said, okay, we're going to let China go out to Africa and try to keep the demographics together by getting African women to have babies with their ass. Because they want them. Oh, does it say? Yeah, because their demographics. What he's saying is not, he doesn't, your DJ friend doesn't understand. China's on the verge of collapse. Demographically, they won't survive. But he thinks, oh, look at the standard of living. Look what they've done. They didn't do none of that shit. It was given to them. None of it.
So I have something to say about that.
Go ahead.
2 minutes. We're lining up, Keith.
God damn, 2 minutes. Stop trying to put the clock on us, irritant. Go ahead.
I have something to say about that. When we look at the histories of these countries, I didn't dispute the history, by the way.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is
you can't dispute the history. It's factual.
Yeah, the history is factual. There's nothing you can do about that. But what I'm looking at is there's a time that will come when these people will look at Africa and wonder, how did we do it? And you see, it starts from a small thing. It looks like a revolution, and this looks like a political revolution. And maybe that's the end of it. When people are looking at it, at what we're doing, and they're thinking, you know what? What's the end goal? These guys only want positions in government, and they just wanna have their families set up politically and financially.
Yeah.
But there's an awakening that is happening.
Come on.
That's it.
Soon these politicians, for example, what the Gen Zs are doing is there's a slogan. I don't know if you've heard the slogan. It's in Swahili.
Which one is it?
It says "Fagia how."
No.
So "Fagia how" is wipe them all out.
Yeah.
There's a thinking right now. There's a philosophy that people are coming up with, especially in Kenya, whereby we're like, you know what? Take away all the old hearts.
Okay.
Take away all these old people who've been making all these not even themselves.
See, BB, he's being nice. I say it more harsh here because I said, get rid of all these old niggas.
So there's a demography that is coming up in Africa.
Okay.
And I remember when this Gen Z movement started, there was also a number of taglines, and one of the tagline was, they will not understand.
Okay.
Yeah, they just will not understand.
I like
they just
that.
They won't get it. And when I look around, I don't think they get it. But
and that's why they're basically still using the old system.
Exactly. You know, it's getting crazy when you hear young people saying, you know what, elections times, we're gonna take the identification documents of our parents and hide them.
Yeah.
It's because these old guys will not understand. You know, won't get it. When you see a government is like, you know what, we want to see a leader.
Is that right?
We want to see a leader so that, of course, we want to buy him out so that he dances to a tune. And then the guys are like, you know what, we don't have leaders.
Yeah.
All of us are leaders because in Kenya, ever since we were young, we've always been told this line.
Okay.
You are the leaders of tomorrow. The question is, when does tomorrow come?
Yeah.
Because that tomorrow has never come.
It comes when you're old and ready to be a puppet.
But I'm happy to be here, Black on Fire Network. I'm always a fan.
He's always on TikTok every time.
Yeah, whenever I have time. So thank you so much.
I coached you from TikTok.
Yeah, so it's amazing. I'm here with I didn't come alone, by the way.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I think I need to.
I can see introduce them.
Yeah, so I don't know if they come here or do we get a microphone?
Here, that's okay.
Yeah, please come around. I want people to know that I didn't come alone.
Of course, but I don't think we're gonna do this Monday. You let me know your schedule.
I don't know if have Monday, but we're gonna plan because now I get your timings.
Yes, but on Monday it's gonna be from 2:30 around 3.
Yeah, that timing really.
I'm so sorry about that. Yeah.
But Karen, you wanna come and say hi? Yeah. So this is Karen.
Okay. Hi, Karen. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Karen Marigia.
Okay.
I thought he was by himself. He brought somebody with him.
A lot of people here in the studio.
I do. How you giving them 2 damn minutes?
It's the timing that's changed, but
just go ahead, every time. Don't pull a Joby.
Right. Just go ahead.
Hello, hi. My name is Jackie. I am James' manager and also a friend.
Okay, nice to meet you.
We started up and we are doing a lot of things together, so it was nice you hosting us today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iwerton. My name is Iwerton.
Pleasure, Iwerton.
Yeah, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Wairiki and Jackie and Wairiki. Okay.
Karen hasn't told you what she does.
Okay. But yeah, because the mic is here. Feel comfortable. Okay. Feel at home. Say everything you say. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a professional kids dance choreographer.
Okay.
Yes. I'm also a designer.
Okay, fashion designer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makeup artist.
Hey. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm so happy. Yeah.
Sounds like a renaissance. Sounds like a renaissance woman or some shit.
Oh my gosh.
Do you clean toilets too?
Come again?
I said, does she clean toilets too?
Really? No. What would you say that?
It's a joke here, time. I said she does everything that she cleans toilets too. It's a joke. It's a joke.
You're almost offended.
I'm calling her a Renaissance woman. Seems like she does everything. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Maybe I can say real quick what I do. Can you hear me?
For sure.
Apart from being his manager,
yeah,
I am a director,
okay,
a news and production director, and I'm also a producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your take on the protest that's going on in Africa?
Hey, Moscow.
Rucha.
We are the young people and you want to take over.
Okay.
It's high time the old people need to go home. It's our time.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to wait for tomorrow.
Were you at the protest?
Yes,
you
I
guys
was.
run for the protest?
The first week that was a bit organized.
Yeah.
When the hooligans came up, we got lost.
Oh my
But
gosh.
for us, we are peaceful. We
Yeah.
want just to say what we want.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Karen? Did you go for the protest?
Online protest.
Okay. That's still okay.
I was part of the online protest
movement.
Yeah.
And what's your take on everything that's going on?
Just one
The
word.
senates being appointed who are like worth millions of Kenyan shillings, and we don't understand why they're being appointed again.
I guess we are in a revolution where we are so much tired of what is going on.
Yeah.
So Ruto must.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We're winding up, Keith, but I'll definitely organize another day.
You had all those people in there, and they weren't saying nothing. You had all those people in there, and you let the DJ just take all the time talking about his talking about his Chinese nonsense.
You like Chinese guys? Why do you like Chinese?
Talking about your Chinese nonsense. Africans still believe China is a real power. China's a made-up ass fucking country. Made up. Created by the same people who created the IMF and the World Bank. China, that's why I can show you easily what created them. And I told you the Japanese are still mad about the shit because they want to take it all over. You know, it's only because China was allowed not to go into the hands of the Japanese. Japanese are mad as shit. And I lived in Japan. They were still talking about that shit. I was like, wow, man, that's way before I was born. Why y'all still talking about that shit? Because God damn it, we're supposed to have all of it. I said, shit. That's what they told. That's what they told me here at time. They said they mad. That's what they told me. That's why I was like, what? That's years ago. Let it go. Now fuck that.
They'll also do a protest very soon. I can see General Mosquito is saying the land is based on corporations and not countries. Everything is business. Is asking, is that the same?
Exactly right. You're a mosquito. They don't believe in countries. They don't believe in the Africans that think these guys operate with countries. Oh, China and America. They don't believe in no fucking America. They don't believe in no fucking China. They control both of them. In the news, you think oh, China's fighting America, America's fighting China. That's fraudulent. They own both countries. They created both. Well, they didn't really create America, but they got control of America back in 1913. So they control it.
He's asking, is that the same guy who was eating during the interview? No, it's not Walter. DJ Chang.
Well, maybe he's hungry. God damn it, he can eat.
He's confusing him with the other guests, and also
maybe we look alike. I don't know.
No,
I don't eat during
interviews. I haven't put the live TikTok. But General Muscari is saying, anything else you want to tell us? And then there's a Karen too, lol. And we also have some General Mosquito saying, if there's no kings and queens, it's bought and owned by British and other European countries.
And that's right. And that's why General Mosquito, they overthrew all the kings. You know, that's what they did first. They overthrew the king of France. They overthrew the king of Russia. They overthrew the king of the Ottoman Empire. They overthrew the king in Austria-Hungary. Exactly. Said they control the world. We got to get rid of these fucking monarchs. And the only one they let stay was the British. Only king, because the city of London, as your mosquito will tell you, the king and them in England not allowed to go in there without permission. The city of London is controlled by these people. Right. All right. It's in London, but it's not part of England. So how can the city of London? Put this up real quick. Really say the city of London sits outside of England authority. Say the city of London sits outside of English authority. because these same people got rid of all the kings. That's when they put communism in Russia. They said we're going to kill the king of Russia because he didn't agree with them taking over the world, and he was trying to stop them. They told him. Well, they told his granddaddy said we're going to kill all you motherfuckers. I don't know why he didn't tell his goddamn grandson that, hey, watch out for these people. They're going to try to overthrow you. And they murdered the whole goddamn family.
It just says the City of London was a United Kingdom parliamentary constituency. It was a constituency of the House of Commons of the Parliament of England. Is that it?
No, City of London. Not London City. There's a certain part of London that sits outside of British jurisdiction. That's what General Mosquito's talking about. And they are a country of their own. That's what they do. They wicked ass. Everybody talking about the wicked ass policies come from England and America. So that group of individuals took over America with the help of the American bankers back in 1930. That's why the American dollar, people think it's the American dollar. It's not. Americans don't control that dollar. The people from British created that fucking American dollar, and they control and own it. So it's always. So when he's talking about, oh, the Chinese, America's in debt to the Chinese, no, they're not, because the same motherfuckers who created the Chinese yuan created the U.S. dollar, and they own both of them. So see, that's where you get confused when you don't know real history. They created the yuan, whatever that shit, that Chinese shit called, and they also own and created the U.S. dollar. They own it. They own it. They control it. So. There's no, if you believe if there's a division, there's not. They control both countries. So don't ever believe that America's fighting China, China's fighting America, because through the U.S. dollar, they created China. Like I told you, you see at that time, the Japanese controlled China. And they said, we can't allow that shit to happen. What we have to do, we got to build a military and help these Chinese rice-eating bastards, get the country back so it benefits us. So all the leadership of China was created by them. And I'll have you Google that up later on, but that's the fact. So the same people, so if I show you the same names, you'll see the same names that took over America back in 1913 that created China, because they didn't want Japan. Because Japan said, we want all white people to fuck out of Southeast Asia. We're going to control it. We're going to take China. We're going to take Vietnam. We're going to take the Philippines. And we're going to take, and they plan to take Australia. They were going to kick the white man out of Australia. So the world had to come together and unite to get rid of their ass. So now Japan is controlled by those same people. They got control of their banks. And the Japanese are mad as fuck about it. So understand, when you think China's a power, it's not. It's not. Sorry. Don't no poor country become wealthy overnight and because of other people's technology. If America's against communism, I'm not giving you all my technology to make you wealthy. I'm not. It's a group of individuals depleting America to make their new kingdom because they want to use China to implement all their wicked schemes. Digital credit scores, digital ID, locking people down. And I'm gonna say this quietly because we're on YouTube. Genociding the planet. That's what the COVID-19 shit was about. That's why it came from China. And all the world went along with that shit. And it was a psyop. It was a psychological operation. So.
All right.
Yeah. So, anything, as we wind up, literally. Much love, kid. Anything else you want to say as we wind up? Mr. Blackheart Fire?
I thought you were talking to them. You said, yeah, so understand, family, the world you live is a little more complicated than what you think. You've been fed propaganda. They control all news, whether it's print, whether it's broadcast, or whether it's radio. They control all social media platforms. They control it all. So you're being fed propaganda. You're not to know how the world works. So now with Africa waking up, it's become dangerous because Africa has fed the world. Without Africa, there would be no fucking China. Without Africa, there would be no fucking Europe. Without Africa, there would be no fucking America. Africa has been the fuel to build these empires because the African has been kept docile and ignorant for generations to come. That's why I want you to play that video before we left here, Tom. I want that white man to tell you the truth, what I'm saying, which is factual. So the African is now has an awakening happening that he's understanding you are the global fuel of the world. Every empire has been built off your back. That's why Africa's underdeveloped. That's why you got fucking Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi look like it does. Those are the resources coming out of Africa. And so they put their puppets in there to keep that going. They'll give them some money. That's why these African leaders are all moronic, stupid. Because you can't name one thing they built, one thing they've invented. See, that's how wealth is created. Either you have manufacturing, you've created something, you've invented something. They've invented nothing. They created nothing. They manufactured nothing. So you can't explain their wealth. The Africans are starting to understand that. Where's the wealth coming from? How are you worth $500 million? And you ain't done shit. You ain't built shit. You ain't created shit. You ain't invented shit. Something's fucking missing. That's why you got Kagame with 500 million, Ruto with 500 million. That was giving like 400, 500 million. Museveni's retarded ass over in Uganda. All these puppets. You wouldn't allow Museveni to be in charge of a shoe store, let alone a country. But that's on purpose. That's on purpose. And so the Africans are starting to wake up.
Right.
All right. That's all. Those are my last words. Don't get caught with the China bullshit. Go research China. Learn. Don't. Hey, Africans are Chinese can't stand your black ass. You understand that? They racist than a motherfucker. I've been to China. They don't like us. So when you start grabbing on the China's ass and not understanding their history, don't learn Chinese history.
Right.
That's right. Learn who created China.
Did you have any more questions for me?
Just your last take. We're winding up.
Look, I'm glad he showed up. I'm glad he showed up.
Yeah, I'm glad you should. Thank you.
I always show up. If
Thank
you
you so
ask me
much.
to do something
Yeah.
and I tell you I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
I will do it.
I appreciate
And
that.
I think we had an event at
Yeah,
cafe.
you told me that.
We've actually had to cancel it, by the
No
way.
way.
So
No.
because now the timing wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
But I'm
Thank
happy.
you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, but I'm happy we're here.
Yeah.
I think
I'm glad you came.
we're talking with my colleagues, and you're like, you know what? If we go to the event at Westlands,
Yeah.
we're not going to make it to this
I figured.
radio interview
Yeah.
at all. So you're like, okay, so what do we do between these two? Because either way, we will miss one.
That's true.
So we thought about it, like, you know what? You never know. We have a feeling we never know what this is going to hold.
Yeah.
So how about it just go?
Yeah.
So the traffic, of course, over here is crazy.
So crazy.
Getting over here
There's
is
only
hard.
one Tamworth Road.
My goodness.
Waiting from here to town.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get here. but there's a road. I mean, so it's crazy. But I'm happy
I'm
we're
glad
here.
you came.
Yeah, I'm happy we're here. And I know we're gonna do a lot of stuff.
I agree.
I am a believer that whenever we connect with people, we network.
Yeah.
There's always something amazing that can always come out of it.
I believe that.
And there's always hope. So my manager was like, you know what, let's just go. Let's do it.
Thank you, manager. Pushing him.
So I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy we're here.
Thank you for coming to the
what
Black
you guys
Network.
are doing,
Yeah.
driving conversations like this.
Yeah.
These conversations, if they're not had today, there is no other future where these conversations are supposed to be had.
Yeah.
If you don't have some of these conversations right now, we will never have a country that is different.
That's so
Africa
true.
will never rise.
Yeah.
We'll just be stuck in the olden ways, following people, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I believe this is a good thing. What you guys are doing. I've been watching you guys for a while.
Of
think
course.
it's amazing.
I've been seeing you. You're coming on to our live on
Yeah,
TikTok.
I always do come on.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy. I've seen her a lot.
Yeah.
Listen to her.
The time we had the conversation about men and relationships and stuff.
Jackie, you know, they're always having so many diverse conversations. Sometimes it's about relationships.
In the morning, mostly.
Sometimes it's all over. It's really, really amazing conversations.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
So I'm happy to be here in person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are there people who normally like you tell them, hey, you gotta come around, and then they don't come?
They actually come.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something happens, and then we have to cancel.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. All
right.
It
happens.
Yeah. But I'm happy to be here.
To your work.
Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So I really don't have much to say.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it, Jackie.
Thank you so much for the invite. I'm so wowed by the conversation.
Okay.
It's a great conversation to have. Conversation around what is happening in Kenya and across board in Africa. It's good also to learn the other side. What are they fighting for and everything. But what I can say to our leaders, it's time they know that change is inevitable.
Yeah.
Change is so painful.
Yeah.
They brought us here.
So true.
They brought the education. Now the youth are learned. They know what they want.
Yeah.
So it's time for them to adapt to the changes. The way you're adapting to technology and everything, it's time for them either to relearn or just step out. Yeah,
okay.
It's time for change. We want a better Kenya. It's high time we stop complaining every day about the issues and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the people who are outside are saying they want the change. Let them come in and do the change. Yeah. They should just combine both efforts, and Kenya will be a great country.
I agree.
Looking at the network that those people have, and
It's
you
crazy.
get that someone else who is sleeping hungry, it's so painful.
Yeah.
So it's time we merge and all corruption down.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I like her.
Of course, everybody likes Jackie. You've got to love Jackie.
Thank you so much.
Jackie is an intelligent mind, absolutely.
Right.
So
Jackie, sweetie.
Karen.
Yes.
Karen, you're just there looking pretty and gorgeous.
Oh, thank you for hosting us.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a nice show. He might probably link me up so that I can be joining and
okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love to see your work, your makeup work and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Of course. But that has been it. General Mosquito, thank you so much for the comments and joining us everywhere. Everybody joining us here in Let's Pop with Iritan. Mr. Black Hot Fire, thank you for joining us. I believe we'll do this next week.
I hope so.
We'll
schedule better.
For everybody now to be on camera.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Yeah. She says I believe her.
Okay.
She says she's your manager. She says you're gonna be here. So we're gonna have them next week, guys. Thank you. That has been it here on Let's Pop with Iritan. The topic of the show has been Nigerian protest spiraled, led by the Kenyan protest. Remember, as I always say, you are the change you need to see in the world. And my guest for today was DJ Jang. You can follow him on all the social media. Yeah. Amazing work that he's doing, amazing conversation. And guys, have a great weekend. Remember to stay safe and basically stay motivated in regards to understanding that you are the change you need to see in the world. Take care and much love. Okay.
Come on.